Hello, everybody. Welcome to Season 5 of The Morning Metro. It is Saturday, July 7th, 2018. We, of course, are your hosts, Gert21 and Gertron, my co-host.
Hello.
And we're back. It is good to be back on TMM. I honestly miss this desk. But, you know, I walked in this morning, Gertron, and I noticed something. There were dust bunnies. I thought I told you to dust off the desk before the show.
But they're part of the crew.
Since when? Wait, are we going for cheap labor here?
Well, yeah.
Well, I mean, it was weird. I walked in and there was a dust bunny house for sale. And the rental prices are insane for dust bunnies. It's gotta be hard being a dust bunny.
But we're making money. We're making bank.
Oh man! But no, on a serious note, how are you this morning, Gertron?
I am doing fantastic. It's been a great day so far.
Oh yeah? What's made your name one thing that made your day really great?
The dryer works again.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I think
my clothes are clean.
Oh yeah. I think I remember you mentioning that your something about your dryer or whatever was messed up or something. Yeah.
Brand new dryer now.
Actually, I see something out here that's kind of funny outside my office. There's somebody that just did a 3-point turn in the middle of the street. Man, you gotta love those 3-pointer turns. We, of course, just got a really packed show. Actually, as well, too, we want to mention that the Morning Metro has something kind of cool. Gertron, could you model what our really cool thing is that we've got? We have TMM merch officially. So you can buy actual The Morning Metro merch. It supports, well, it mainly supports me because the money goes to me, honestly. But I can always, pay a little. Yeah, I would love to pay you, honestly, Gertron. You work really hard on this show. You really do. But yeah, you can.
You need it more than me at this point.
But the link I think is it's tpublic.com. I think it's /user/Grid21 or something like that. I think if you go to tpublic.com, you should be able to look up my storefront, which is just Grid21. I think is what it is on there. You can look up TMM merch. You can get a mug. You can get a notebook. I think there's also, I want to say, what's those really? It's not like a thermos, but it's like a dang it, I know what it looks like. I'm picturing in my head. I don't know what it looks like. Actually, it's gonna bug me. Let me just go look it up instead because it's gonna like T Public. Talk about being ready. I was like all ready, and then I'm like, nope. I want to look up one more thing, just one more thing. It's like
just one more.
Like that show Columbo. Just one more thing. Let me look up my storefront here really fast. Oh yeah. Here we go. Okay, cool. We got it. So there's actually, let me go ahead and switch to so there's actually the TMM rant. You can get TMM t-shirt, and they both come in a black and white version of it. Let's look at the white version. So let me actually scroll down through it and look it up. So you get a baseball tee, you can get a crew neck, a sweatshirt, a hoodie. You can get phone case, laptop case, mug, notebook, and there was something else. I think there was like a I thought there was one of those like thermos water thingy-madoos. I can't think what they're actually called. So I'm really drawing a blank right now, which is irritating for about. You can get all this for about $20 or so, which actually is not too bad, honestly, as most things go. That's actually pretty cheap and stuff. So yeah, if you want to help support the show and what we do and just look stylish doing it, then yeah, you should totally go check that out. But yeah, but I think we're kind of ready to go ahead and pack and get into our packed show. And I'm really excited because Gertron moved this episode, or not this episode, he moved this article to the first thing. And for those of you who watch the BBC version of Sherlock, you will definitely love this. Now the question is, what was on my show notes here? Did I say I was going to read the article with the actual theme? Okay, the theme music. Right, so we're gonna go ahead and jump into this, and we need some mood music, I think, for this particular one. So British actor Benedict Cumberbatch embodied a real-life superhero after reportedly saving a cyclist who was being attacked on the streets of London. The star, who is known for portraying Sherlock Holmes in the hit BBC series Sherlock, reportedly saved a food delivery cyclist after he was being beaten up by a gang of 4 people, which The Sun reported were muggers. According to Sky News, Cumberbatch was reportedly an Uber with his wife, Sophia Hunter, when they spotted the victim. The star caught sight of the delivery van being hit over. Gosh, my twist down. Hit over the head with a bottle and decided to take action. Actually, got to turn this down just a little bit more. Cumberbatch's Uber driver Manuel Diaz told The Sun, "I was taking Benedict and his wife to a club, but I didn't know it was him at first. I went to turn down with Marylebone High Street, and we saw 4 guys were pushing around a Deliveroo cyclist." He continued and said, "My passenger jumped out, ran over, and pulled the men away. They turned towards him, and things looked like they were getting worse, so I joined in. He stood there instructing them in the street, shouting, 'Leave him alone.' The Uber driver then explained that it wasn't until later that he noticed his passenger was actually Sherlock Holmes, who plays Avenger superhero Doctor Strange in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It was only when I recognized Benedict," he said, then it all got a bit surreal. Here was Sherlock Holmes fighting off 4 attackers just around the corner from Baker Street." Diaz added that the fight with the attackers turned to be no contest. They tried to hit him, but he defended himself and pushed them away. He wasn't injured. Then I think they recognized it was Benedict and ran away. Once the attackers left, Diaz said that the actor hugged the victim after asking if he was okay. The incident took place on Marylebone High Street, just half a mile from the actor's fictional home of 221 Baker Street, on his famous BBC series. Benedict was courageous, brave, and selfless, the Uber driver said. If it hadn't stepped in, the cyclist could have been seriously injured. According to The Sun, Cumberbatch modestly said of his heroic actions, "I did it out of, well, I had to, you know." A spokesman for Deliveroo later told the outlet, "Deliveroo riders are heroes, delivering millions of meals to hungry customers right across the country. Their safety is our priority, and any violence against riders is totally unacceptable." The company then thanked the famous actor for his swift rescue and said, "On behalf of everyone at Deliveroo, thank you so much." Okay, so
and you know, Cumberbatch, because he played in the Avengers and Sherlock, he probably did have to go through training and actually learn how to fight for all those scenes. So he wasn't just some actor who didn't know how to fight. I mean, granted, he probably wasn't some professional fighter that if he actually fought up against somebody who was also professionally trained that he would win, but he definitely already had skills to defend the guy, which is great that he actually got out and helped the guy. Most actors and quote-unquote rich people are like, look at that, somebody's getting beat up, well, I hope they survive it, and then they keep going.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that he was actually like able to just jump into action so quickly was like really was really quite impressive, in all honesty. Take a sip of my coffee here. So yeah, that was really like, that's pretty that takes some serious guts to just be like, yeah, you know, just a typical day at the office as the unofficial, you know, Sherlock Holmes kind of a thing. But that must have been like, I can't imagine being the muggers and being like, oh crap, it's Sherlock, you know, kind of a thing. So but yeah, that's really cool. By the way, credits to BBC Sherlock show for the theme song. I normally try to cite my sources, and that was over a minute, so hopefully YouTube won't get upset, but oh well.
Oh, well.
But yeah, I thought that would be a fun way to start our show. That's how that turned out. So very cool.
Cool.
Moving on down the article train. I believe this is Gertron now.
It is. I'm changing it up just a little bit.
Man, we go from fighting crime to dealing with politics. How do you? And ironically, crime and politics seem to go together a little bit sometimes.
My goodness.
Sometimes.
It's a mixture of the politics and immigration.
Oh, man.
This has been an issue. Now, back on, when was that? June 14th, General Jeff Sessions cited the Bible in his defense of his border policy that is resulting in hundreds of immigrant children being separated from the parents after they enter the U.S. And this is the important part, illegally.
Mm-hmm.
Those who are entering legally, they're not having this issue. It's those who are entering illegally that are having this issue.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And Sessions, speaking in Fort Wayne, Indiana, on immigration, pushed back against criticism he had received over the policy. On June 14th, the cardinal in the Roman Catholic Church said that separating mothers from their babies was immoral. I'm gonna say this with that particular line. Abortion is just as bad. You're separating the children, the babies, from their mothers.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, but if the liberals are going to be so upset about children being separated from their parents because their parents broke the law, which in the US, if you break the law, your kids don't go to jail with you. Your kids are either put off into foster care or given to another relative, and you just got to deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
So that entire sense of it, I'm just like, they came here illegally. They got to suffer the consequences. They should have came here legally.
Yeah, I mean, this whole thing's really been kind of like ridiculous as a whole because I mean, like, yeah, I know you want to get out of the situation that you're in, but it's kind of like it's almost like going from bad to worse. You're going from a country that's oppressive, that's whatever, and then you cross the border illegally, and then heaven forbid they should get caught by the border police or whatever, and it doesn't, I don't know, it's kind of I sort of sit there and I'm like, hasn't it kind of occurred to somebody that it would make more sense to just come here to the country legally and not have to face illegal immigration whatever and stuff on on things and whatnot. So I don't know. It's just it's really kind of ridiculous.
Now,
go on.
Here's the Bible verse he uses. He states, "I would cite to you the Apostle Paul and his clear and wise command in Romans 13 to obey the laws of the government because God has ordained them for the purpose of order." He said, "Orderly and lawful processes are good in themselves and protect the weak and lawful." So, I mean, I've always looked at it like this. God says, obey the laws of the land.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, you decided not to obey the laws of the land. I don't care that you're being separated. You broke the law.
You made a choice. You have to deal with it.
And the reason why illegal immigration is so bad is because we literally get thousands of illegal immigrants coming over. Some of them are good people. Granted, some of them are good people.
True.
But a great portion of them are not. I mean, think about it. You had to come over here illegally in the first place. If you would have came over here legally, then, we'd probably be fine. I have no problem with legal immigration. But yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of the whole thing's just honestly ridiculous. And I feel like this is just constantly getting like dragged out and dragged out and dragged out. It's like, oh my gosh, you don't have to like our president, just be respectful. You know, like laws are here for a reason. They've been here. Those laws have been in there, like, are part of you know they've been a part of our country for longer than anyone's been complaining about it. And I just kind of hate that, like, the fact that now we're trying to do more to make it work, I guess, more functionally and have, like, you know, take care of it. Then suddenly it's like a big deal, and I'm like, well, guys, this has kind of been an ongoing issue for years, and it's just it's again, it goes back to concepts we've talked about before on the show. There are many seasons about, you know, it's just now becoming a problem because now somebody wants to step up and say something about it. Like, why wasn't it a problem before? You know, that's what I don't like. I don't really understand why it's now just becoming an issue. You know, so you're adding to it by constantly, you know, complaining about it and being like, what is this? You know, like, you know, adding this and that and calling, you know, people names, all this kind of stuff. Doesn't help anybody.
Here's the thing. They complain so much about it, and the liberals, the Democrats, want to abolish ICE, the immigration control. Basically, they're the ones who track down the illegal immigrants, mainly MS-13. MS-13 is a horrible gang,
obviously,
and they want to abolish ICE. And then eventually, I mean, that leads to abolishing police in general, because the police can do the same thing as ICE does to a degree. But, you know, the reason I say abolishing the police will come next is because that's been all over the news too. How, you know, they're saying that if the liberals officially get rid of ICE, they're going to eventually go after the police department as well, which is just nuts. I'm just like, come here legally, please.
Yeah,
we don't have time for this.
No, we don't. And it's like, it's always again, it's like, it's kind of like it's a distraction to other things, more important things that could be taken care of, you know,
like all the great success Trump has been having.
Yeah, hello. Yeah, and again, people just want to knock him, and they want to do this, and want to do that, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, spare me. Please spare me.
Not gonna happen.
So yeah, it just, no, just stop, please stop while you're ahead. So anyway, is there anything more about this article you want to talk about here?
I'm gonna leave it at that.
Okay, it's basically stop being stupid, people. Thank you. Let's see who. Okay, this is also one that you decided took as well, and because I actually didn't pre-read this, so go ahead and read this about the Incredibles 2. Go ahead.
So when I was a little kid, I watched Incredibles 1, and it was amazing.
How long ago has it been since Incredibles 1 came out?
Oh, I was literally a kid. Let's see. Incredibles 1. 2004. I was 14 years old.
Wait. 2004?
Yup.
That long ago?
Yup.
But you...
Yup.
I thought you were older than that.
I was 14. No, wait. Yeah, I was 14. Yup.
Okay.
I was
I'll take
14 years old.
I'll have to take your word for it, because honestly, I know, I sort of know about where your age is, and I'm like, wait a minute, how was he 14 when this came out?
Oh yeah, I remember watching The Incredibles. I enjoyed it a lot, and then at the end, it was such a cliffhanger when it showed the baby with powers. Like, you gotta come out with the second one, and it took them over 10 years.
Oh wow!
To finally come out with Incredibles 2. I have yet to see it. But before we get into the article, we have a video here.
And is that the video that's on the main page here?
Yeah.
Okay, so this comes from foxnews.com, so let's go ahead and transition and look at this video.
Last all, Incredibles 2 lived up to the hype with a massive opening weekend, beating all expectations by bringing in $180 million domestically and another $51 million overseas. A worldwide total, an impressive $230 million.
That is freaky.
This is the biggest animated opening ever. This is the biggest PG-rated opening ever. It is the third biggest opening of 2018 so far. It's the eighth biggest opening weekend of all time. This is a big deal.
You know what's crazy, right?
It's been 14 years since the original, which debuted at $70 million and went on to make more than $633 million. The cast believes the wait was worth it.
I am so proud of this movie. I'm so, thrilled by it.
I love, the character. I love working for Brad.
There's a lot of nostalgia. Kids were really young when the first one came out. They might be teenagers now. Families love the first movie. They're coming out on Father's Day weekend. I think that's another part of this, to see the film. And Disney mounted a perfect marketing campaign.
But if they want to stay at number one, the animated superheroes will have to take down the latest Jurassic World sequel.
I think there's room in this marketplace for both films to grab an audience, for the marketplace to expand, and for next weekend to be an even bigger weekend than this one was, with those two blockbusters in the mix.
Suit up, it might get weird.
In Hollywood, Michelle Polino, Fox News.
Oh gosh. Hey, you found a super suit.
Okay. So, the combined powers of superheroes, the Pixar brand, and a draught of family-friendly films helped Incredibles 2 become the best animated opening of all time. The biggest PG-rated launch ever, and the 8th highest film launch overall. Okay. So, Disney estimated Sunday that the film earned $180 million in its first weekend in North American theaters.
Crazy.
Far surpassing industry's analysts' loftiest expectation, which was the film pegged for 120 to 140 million debut. So they got a lot more than that. The previous animation record holder was another Pixar sequel, Finding Dory, which I watched Finding Dory, and that was cute and funny.
I wasn't amused by Finding Dory, I'll be honest. I wasn't amused by it.
Just keep swimming. Which had a 135 million launch in 2016. It was Disney's live-action Beauty and the Beast that held the record for the PG debut, with 174.8 million in 2017. So, Incredibles 2 just barely beat them. And it was... It's amazing. I cannot wait to go see this.
I haven't seen it either.
Have you seen the first one?
I own the first one. I haven't seen the second one.
Okay. Good. Looking through. There was something else in here. Where'd the percentages go?
I think they're at the bottom. Are they at the bottom?
According to Disney's, adults made up 31% of the audience, most likely because most of the adults saw the first one when they were young, and they've been waiting for the second one to come out. So when it finally came out, it was kind of like, wow. I mean, I'm gonna have to watch the first one again before I watch the second one, because there's a lot of correlation between the two.
You kind of need a refresher in some of it.
Exactly. Now, families accounted for 57% and teens 11%. So, I mean, I am glad that it's doing well. And I have not actually looked at the ratings so far. Don't worry, no spoilers. 93% on Rotten Tomatoes. And IMDb,
excuse me, what's Rotten Tomatoes?
Rotten Tomatoes is one of the major sites that reviews movies.
Oh.
You have critics and you have... I mean,
what a weird name for a site, though, that, supposed to, review something, and it's called Rotten Tomatoes. That make me, what?
Either you're a fresh tomato or you're a rotten tomato.
I guess.
And IMDb 8.2 out of 10. I mean, it's getting good reviews. So
that's cool. That's good to know.
That's good.
Yeah,
that's
totally.
Good.
Awesome. Well, yeah, I know that my family wanted to see it. I was interested in seeing it, I guess, because there's been a lot of really good films that's come out here and there, and to see like, because I mean, there's been some good films, there's been some bad films, but to see some like another really good like family, excuse me, family film to come out is actually pretty sweet. Honestly, we need more family films, honestly, especially in all this like craziness. It'd be great to have, definitely have more family films and stuff. But very cool. I'm glad it's getting such good such great feedback. And the statistics for the I see this, the Solo, a Star Wars story, is now in 4th place, followed by Deadpool, but at the top is Incredibles 2. And even in Avengers Infinity Wars is down at like 8th, which is pretty huge, because like people were obsessed with Avengers coming out and stuff, or that is to say, the fact that it was just one of those like highly anticipated films is definitely pretty interesting altogether. So cool stuff. Yeah. Very cool stuff.
Cool stuff indeed.
So moving on down the article train.
Goodness.
Go from movies to Okay, I don't know anything about this article. What is this about this raccoon? Can you please explain?
Oh my! Granted, while this was on June 12th of 2018, a raccoon scaled a building, and he made it up to the 23rd floor, more than 200 feet above the street, according to NPR News. And if we watch this video here, we get to see this little raccoon in action.
All right, let me see. Let me go ahead and do some mixing here.
It's not really a lot of sound.
No, I know.
The raccoon's just taking a break. Scaling the walls.
Oh my gosh. How? Better question, why?
Good question. Nobody really knows. Nobody really knows.
So this raccoon just decided to take a walk one day, and that's where it decided to go, was to scale a building for some random reason. I see there's been a Twitter account made for it. The NPR Raccoon.
Oh yes. Oh yes. I made a big mistake. His only tweet.
Now, how did they get the raccoon? Can you read a little bit of this story here? So we're not sort of left at a bit of a cliffhanger, but can you sort of talk about like how they got it down, or what the actual? Because again, I haven't this was your article. I didn't pre-read this one.
Okay. Now, animal control personnel hope to get the critter down from the building before it went any higher. Officials set traps with food, hoping to lure it, and in the herring climb, the Star Tribune reported. We don't want to scare him, Lori Brickley, a spokeswoman for the city's Department of Safety Inspections, told the newspaper. The best thing is to leave him alone. The raccoon received its couple of hours of fame on social media as users monitored its climb through hashtag NPR Raccoon. Users posted photos of the raccoon's plight on social media. NPR's reporter Tim Nielsen tweeted a video of the raccoon doing a little grooming from the 23rd floor's ledge. Now that he's a social media star. Now, Paige Donnelly Law, which is also located in the UBS building, posted some close-up shots of the varmint, which the law firm said seems to be doing very well. I'm looking at these photos, like Erica's like, "Hey, hi, I'm just taking a little walk."
Don't mind me.
Come on.
Yeah,
We've
I
been
see
told that the building has live traps on the roof and are trying to get him to go up there. Wow, they want him to go even higher. We all just have to keep our fingers crossed. Evan Frost, also of the NPR News, tweeted the raccoon got a visit from the St. Paul Fire Department and that cat food had been placed on the roof of the building. By Tuesday afternoon, the raccoon had its own Twitter account with its first tweet saying, "I made a big mistake."
Wow. Whoever
and they did eventually get him off the building and he's safe and back doing
Imagine walking to
whatever
work.
he feels like one.
Imagine just walking into work one day and be like, and you see this and you come home and you're like, your wife goes, "How's your day at work?" And you're like, "Got visited by a raccoon." Your boss? No, an actual raccoon.
Oh my goodness.
Wow, that's something you don't see every day. Nice.
Nope, you don't see it every day.
Nice. Oh gosh.
Brave little raccoon.
The brave little raccoon. So we're kind of wanting, man, this is actually feeling a pretty short pilot episode. My gosh, we haven't actually crazy. I feel like maybe we need more articles next week or something. I don't know.
I think we just had a lot of short articles.
We did have a lot of short articles. That's fine. Okay, now please explain this video. Scumbag former Green Party member assaults kids in Waterburger over Trump hat. I saw this on the news, but what is all this and all this ridiculousness?
Basically, it's another liberal that attacks Trump supporters.
But like, why? I mean,
because they feel like it.
You ain't supporting shit, nigga.
Oh, I didn't realize
I told you there was language.
Oh my.
There was one word.
That's...
And I like how that kid's just the kid in the yellow shirt's kind of just like, okay, just wait for him to leave. Just wait for him to leave. I mean, are you kidding me? And you want us to take the Liberal Party seriously when you're acting like this?
Sorry,
I mean,
sorry, Twitch or anybody who was listening about that. I didn't realize he actually was going to use that terminology. Oopsie.
I
know.
I warned you. I told you should watch it.
Yeah, I thought it'd be.
It.
I didn't realize. Yeah, I didn't. Yeah.
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 But it's gone viral.
Unfortunately, yeah, it's kind of ridiculous that's
so
like that.
He's been fired from his current job, kicked out of the Green Party, and he was fired by the Rumble Bar. I think Rumble Bar is probably just a bar, and he might be facing jail time.
Wow. Okay.
Let's take a look. Most recently. I mean, he probably will face jail time. It wouldn't surprise me, but I mean, just leave people alone.
Well, and see, like this again, this goes back to the fact that like people are so. Okay, first of all, insulting people doesn't solve the issue; it just adds to it. Secondly, that's not how you deal with an argument or deal with an indifference with somebody. And yeah, like I don't understand like why, like how does throwing stuff at people or like honestly it appears to me anyway that people who do this stuff and cause these issues are usually just people who are basically hurting people themselves, who've had things in their own life that's happened, and this is them, they're adults and they're rebelling. These are rebelling adults. And when you haven't dealt with your personal issues or whatever, this is the result of what ends up happening. They get older and they cause these issues, and it's just kind of like, I don't know. It's like really, was this really necessary to act this way? And for us, how can we take you seriously if you're just going to keep up this behavior and keep up this this overall mindset with things? I don't know. It's just really completely unnecessary behavior. And nobody's going to take you seriously if you're just going to throw insults and whatever. And a lot of people that try to defend their point with things, they seem to have like a lot of like red herrings or weak arguments. I'm just like, nobody's gonna listen to you if you have a weak argument. Nobody's gonna listen to you if you don't have your facts together, because you're blowing hot air and contributing, to the problem instead of being the one that wants to solve the problem. So I don't know. I don't see how doing that to people makes the situation any better. That's just me.
I mean, if all you can do is obstruct and complain,
Disturb the peace. Yeah.
Yeah, and not come up with an actual logical reason and have an actual logical debate. I mean, there's nobody's going to take you seriously. They're just going to leave you to the wayside.
Yeah. And it is honestly really ridiculous that that's what people have resorted to, and I'm just like, this doesn't help anybody. You know, it's kind of like insults never hurt anybody. It just makes people more mad and upset because nobody likes being insulted. Unfortunately, a lot of common sense obviously has gone out the window, and people don't want to be peaceable about things, and then you end up with these kind of issues and stuff. Excuse me. Sorry guys, I didn't get a lot of sleep. I was too excited about doing this, and I'm just kind of like trying to get through all this and stay awake for it. But yeah, that's yeah. I think I'm done with this article. I think we're ready to move on. Which again, another article from Gertron. Gertron, a lot of articles today.
Wait, no, this one's for you.
It is for me. Records hidden up by. Oh, host article. Article is short. Read on stream. Cool. Is it really short though? In all honesty, maybe it is. Marketing. Okay, this comes from FoxNews.com in their tech section. Marketing firm accidentally exposes 340 million records online. Okay, first of all, who forgot to update the antivirus? I'd be walking in there and be like, did you not? I told you there were patches. Why didn't you install them? A little known marketing firm may have exposed personal information of every adult in the US. Gee whiz. On Wednesday, security researcher named Vinny Tora said he stumbled on a massive database containing a record of 340 million people, all of which was mistakenly made available online. Why? The records were held in a database from how do you pronounce it? It's Axitis, a firm that specializes in helping companies reach potential customers via email, phone number, or postal address. For some reason, Xactis failed to place the database behind a firewall. What? What?
Why?
There's so much wrong with this article just reading it as a whole. Leave it open for anyone to access. Great job. How long the database was exposed isn't known, but it contained a detailed information on 230 million customers and another 110 million businesses contacts, Tora told PC Mag. Each record can list the subject's phone number, address, date of birth, estimated income, number of children, educational level, oh gee whiz, just gets worse, credit rating, and more. Oh gosh. According to Tora, the records are divided into dozens of different fields that can identify whether a person reads books, owns a dog or a cat, or invests in real estate. Oh gosh. I looked up a bunch of my friends, and the database was pretty accurate, Tora said, adding, this is more information that other people can use to create scams or fraudulent activities. Let's see. News of the leak was first reported Friday. Fortunately, the affected records contain no social security numbers, that's good, or credit card information, also good. And according to Tora, I'm not even gonna try to pronounce this. Exactus, thank you. Pulled the database off the open internet when he contacted the company about the leak. Well, it's kind of a bit late.
Yeah, as soon as something reaches the internet, do you know how many times it was probably copied and shared? You might have closed down your particular leak, but that information's already been shared everywhere else. I'm thinking somebody's gonna get sued.
Yep. Still, the incident raises an unsettling question. Did any hackers notice the 340 million records too? Probably.
Probably.
I mean, hackers are always looking for stuff, let's be honest. It's certainly possible, given that how do you pronounce it, Gertrude? I'm sorry. Database was indexed online, according to Tora, who leads his own security firm, Nightline Security. That's actually a cool name. A month ago, he discovered the records while investigating the security of database built within Elasticsearch using a search engine called Shodan. He was able to identify about 7,000 publicly accessible oh my gosh, these names. I'm trying.
Elasticsearch
database, one of which he later discovered was owned by
Exactus.
Thank you, Exactus. I'm so sorry. I normally pre-read articles. This is one I didn't pre-read and I didn't realize, and I feel stupid, so I'm so sorry. The server was kind of wide open, Tora said. If anybody was looking for it, they could have found it and grabbed the data. So far, Exactus hasn't publicly commented on the leak. Well, of course, they're not going to publicly comment on the leak. However, the Florida-based company does claim to have records on 280 million individuals. Yeah, 218 million individuals, and along with 52 million records with business phone numbers. How it obtains so much sensitive information isn't clear, but Exactus is merely one of the several data mining firms that excel on collecting people's personal data for marketing purposes. Other providers such as Axicom can collect the information by tapping into public records, using consumer surveys, or buying it from commercial entities that have merged to gather the data with your own consent. As creepy as it sounds, the data mining is usually done legally, but clearly, hoarding all that sensitive data can pose a massive security risk. Well, duh.
Come on. And they don't put it behind a firewall? Are you kidding me? Lawsuits.
What did they put it? What did they put it in, like a demilitarized zone on their network or something? What idiot doesn't put that behind a firewall?
Good gravy. Nowadays, everything goes behind a firewall.
Or supposed to, anyway.
And if it's not behind a firewall, then there's issues. There's issues.
Definitely.
Issues like a tissue.
Issue like a tissue.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just kind of like you sit there. I'm looking for the. Oh, here it is. You would sit in there and you walk in and you're just kind of like, really? Really?
And get this. In 2017, the population of the U.S. was 325.7 million people. So, if they accidentally exposed 340 million records, that's every single person in the U.S.
Yeah, basically.
That means most likely your records, my records, everybody's records.
Oh, jeez.
And if the hackers got it, granted, I mean, if they're going by last name, you're gonna be caught. You're gonna be caught first. I'm gonna be caught last. But honestly, this company needs to send money out to all their people that they had data on.
Well, unfortunately, money doesn't actually really solve the fact that their data was stolen. So,
no, but it's nice.
Well, yeah, but it doesn't solve the issue. It just makes it convenient. Just saying, money can only fix so much.
This is true. I'm still waiting. I'm waiting for my check.
So should we report this time next week or the week after that we got a check in the mail for our exposed data? Should we really be expecting that?
Probably not.
Probably not. I didn't think so. Yeah. One can dream.
Good name.
And speaking of dreaming and forecasting the future, Gertrude, this is your article. Now, this is unfortunately a very long article. But we're gonna kind of skim it. This is the massive one that I was like, oh, I didn't realize how many things. I said skim article for good parts. So go ahead and let's talk about this. About a new supercomputer. 5 ways the world's fastest supercomputer could change the world. This comes from NBCnews.com. Gertrude, take it away.
Okay. From ending the opioid epidemic to making fusion power possible. Summit, which is the name of this computer, may help researchers meet all sorts of goals. Scientists have high hopes for the world's fastest computer, which is now up and running at Oak Ridge National Laboratory in Tennessee after its June 8th launch. A $200 million water-cooled monster that covers an area the size of 2 tennis courts. The computer, dubbed Summit, has been clocked at handling 200 quadrillion calculations a second, or 200 petaflops. That's more than twice as fast as the previous record holder, China's 93 petaflop Sunway Tahu Light, and so fast that it would take every person on Earth doing one calculation a second for 305 days to do what the Summit can do in a single second.
I feel like this song's appropriate. The world's fastest supercomputer can do over where is it? What was the calculation? 200 quadrillion calculations in a single second. We are in the future. Okay, I'm done. Go on.
Your mic keeps cutting out.
That's not my. I'll have to change the sensitivity of it, but go on. Sorry.
Okay. Okay. Summit gives the U.S. bragging rights. More important, it gives scientists a new tool to conduct research that is all but impossible to do with those supercomputers. My hopes are that we are able to attract the world's best scientists to work on their dream problems, says Jack Wells, the director of science at Oak Ridge Leadership Computing Facility, to open up venues people thought were not possible in this time frame to solve problems that people thought were 20 years away in the next 5 years.
Now, I have a question here. I don't understand, because like I want to say like the human mind is like amazing enough as it is. So my question is like, why would you need a supercomputer to calculate certain things, or is it just because of the series of like math calculations that the brain is not able to like? I mean, yeah, it would take a while to hand write problems, but like, is it just because of the computing power that like it can do it faster than what the human brain could technically discover or like do math in their head type of thing? Is that why we have supercomputers for this kind of stuff?
It's smarter than us, and it may not be able to hold as much information as us, but it can grab that information a lot quicker. Okay, so your mind, okay, it is a supercomputer, yes, but it's only as powerful as you are able to control it. If you cannot control your mind to remember, I mean, look at it. Can you remember what you did the first day you were born?
Probably cried.
Okay, but that's a probably. Do you remember the first bird you saw when you were born?
Probably not.
Okay, the supercomputer can. Because it can just pull that information right out. That's the difference between a supercomputer and our mind. While that memory is still in your head, it would take you a long time, if you're even able to pull that memory out. The supercomputer can do what our minds can't do a lot quicker.
True. Okay, good point. All right, point made. Sorry, go ahead.
Okay. So, here are 5 ways the Summit could change the world. Predicting opioid addiction. Roughly 10% of the people who take an opioid painkiller slip into addiction, says Dan Jacobson, a computational biologist at the laboratory. That screams genetics to us. Otherwise, everybody would get addicted. He and his team plan to use Summit to compare the genetic profiles of 600,000 individuals, in this case, the U.S. military veterans, against clinical records showing whether they were prescribed opioids and if they became addicted. So, I mean, if it can parse out all the information and figure out who's going to become addicted and who's not, I mean,
I have a better suggestion. How about you just not give people that stuff in general?
some people do need it, especially cancer patients. I working in the pharmaceutical field, so to speak. Almost every opioid requires some sort of prior authorization because the government's cracked down on it. The golden ticket to get opioids, like without any issues whatsoever, is to have cancer. I mean, it's like one of those things when a nurse comes on the line and tells me, oh, this patient has cancer and they're trying to get like Oxycontin, I'm like, that's already going to get approved. I already know that because that's like one of the first questions, bypasses all the other 20 different questions I have to ask them. So there are some people who do need it. Now, the problem is when people go to the emergency room with a broken limb or a sprained ankle or something like that, and the doctor says, here's some opioids, go take this, and you'll be fine. That's where it's not supposed to be used for that, and that's why one of the other first questions we have to ask them is whether or not this medication is going to be used for long-term chronic pain. And if they answer no to that, then that's the end of the case there, because they're not going to get it. It's not supposed to be used for short-term pain. That's only going to be there for a little while.
Okay.
Yeah.
I still don't think it's smart, but you know, that's just me. Other things such as advancing fusion power. This sounds kind of.
Yeah. Scientists have been long working to develop fusion power as a limitless source of clean energy, but several technical hurdles remain before fusion power becomes a reality, including finding a way to contain the superheated form of matter known as plasma, in which nuclear fusion occurs. The world's largest experimental fusion reactor, the ATER facility in Grenoble, France, is designed to contain plasma using powerful magnetic fields, but the plasma is highly turbulent at its edges, and it makes it hard for scientists to tell just how much energy the plasma will exert against the reactor walls. Now, that someone is available, Wells says scientists from Princeton University plans to use it to simulate behavior of plasma in an unprecedented detail. That should help make sure that ITER will work as designed and speed the development of larger fusion reactors.
Which means we could potentially not need coal or nuclear. Sorry to say nuclear like that. Nuclear power as well. Nuclear. So that could be honestly a really helpful thing for sure, definitely.
Yeah, it's clean energy, and that's important. Now I'm gonna skip the other ones here. I mean, basically, this computer is just going to figure everything out.
Well, at least most of everything out and stuff. I mean, there's some things we kind of already know based on what your personal belief system is, obviously. But yeah, that's very cool. Awesome. I wonder how much terabytes of storage is in. I'm more interested about the specs of this thing, actually. What hardware is this thing? Because the fun part was when I took a look at this one particular screenshot, it looked like, okay, so it sounds really dumb. So there's certain companies that have a certain type of look to them that just based on like the metal look, the mesh, the plastic. To me, this looks like Dell hardware, because the plastic tabs on these racks here, the color blue is the same color blue that Dell uses for drive mounts on their like Dell Precision cases and stuff. So I'm wondering if Dell contributed some of this hardware to this supercomputer project. Is there anything online about it?
Just taking a look here. That tells me, 512 DDR4 plus 96 gigabytes HBM2
Whoa.
memory.
Ooh.
The processor. I don't even know what kind of processor that is. It's just the IBM Power 9. It's probably not the processor you can get from anywhere.
I mean, if it's like AMD Ryzen, because AMD had HBM before Intel did. And I know that GPUs are often like, especially Quadro and a bunch of other ones are highly computed they're good for high computational calculations. That's what I'm trying to say. They're really good for high computational calculations and stuff. And I hate to think what the electric bill looks like for that, honestly.
Oh my.
Like the electric bill for that's gonna be crazy. Did you find something?
The Summit has 9,216 CPUs in total.
How many?
9,216.
Wow.
And GPUs, 27,648 GPUs.
Oh my gosh.
And it does 49 teraflops, 200 petaflops. System memory, 10 petabytes.
Whoa.
CPU, GPU memories, NVLink 300 gigabytes per second. Power consumption, 13 megawatts.
13 megawatts of power.
I'm trying to find out how much RAM is in this thing. Doesn't tell me.
Didn't you just read off the RAM though?
Where did you?
It was a little bit before that. So something about system RAM in there. Or were you curious about GPU RAM?
That was CPU, GPU memory, system memory. Oh, system memory, 10 petabytes.
That's a lot of petabytes. That's crazy.
Oh my goodness.
Like, imagine all the Minecraft servers you could run.
Oh my.
Imagine all the Twitch streams you could run.
I know,
like,
right?
That'd be like all the instances of OBS that could just be running on that thing would be like ridiculous.
Virtual computers.
All the VMs of the world.
Everybody gets a terabyte of RAM.
There you go. Nice. All right. Well, that kind of brings us to a bit of a close of the Morning Metro's episode 1, season 5. Thank you guys for being part of the show and hanging out and chatting, and those who are lurking in chat, we appreciate it as usual. We're trying to figure out a bit of a schedule. Keep an eye on the Morning Metro Twitter, because you can follow us on Twitter at the Morning Metro, and also on Facebook, the Morning Metro as well. We'll be trying to figure out if we need to do like a schedule change or whatever. We'll be doing like every Saturday or every other Saturday. We're not really sure. We're still planning it. But yeah, thank you guys so much. And until then, we will see you guys later. Thank you, Gertron. And we'll
see you guys later.
See us. Thank you for listening to the Morning Metro. All stories and articles belong to their respected companies. Songs used for broadcasts. Intro music, Retro Funky by Persephone. Remixed by Sundance. Outro music, 305 by Approaching Nirvana. All music belongs to their respected copyright holders. For article submissions, questions, comments, or concerns, please email us at themorningmetro@gmail.com.